welcome everyone. Happy to be here with my good buddy and faction mate, Iron Sheik 84. I'm GreatJmanGaming. We're bringing you a bit of a blast from the past today, where we're reviving a series another user used to do called WWE Champions Collective Superstar Ranking. So I'd just like to give a shout out to the originator of this, Ven Corbin. He started the idea. He initially collected a lot of content creators' thoughts and candid comments around characters and got an average rating. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to talking to you about this, Sheik.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm really excited to do this. I just also want to add in my thank you to Ven Corbin for not only coming up with the idea to begin with, but also for letting us use it. Ven's a very good guy. Always liked him whenever he streamed, and I'm like I said, I'm excited too to do this and talk about these characters on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so just to like to thank all the CCs for participating as well. I mean, I know it's just a rating and a comment, but some of you put some pretty lengthy comments together, which was nice. I'm just gonna remind everyone this is for fun. So please don't go after anyone for their opinions, like how dare you rate my favorite character lower than me, or you rated this character way too high and he's a chump. Let's not do that. This is meant to be fun. This is meant to be like a fun recap of characters and people's thoughts on that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I guess without further ado, if you want to get started with SirZoro, we'll get this going.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll just go through everyone's review, and I'm kind of reading over what they said. Some I might be paraphrasing a little bit just for like readability. Just as a reminder, when people reference Muhammad Ali's training ability, his training ability, just so you all know, this is videos not to recap move sets or move set review or anything like that. But some people do comment on his training. So his training ability is at 26k. He adds 100% more submission damage. So people, if you're wondering what they're talking about, that's what they mean. So yeah, SirZoro, we'll give you ratings at the end. Uh, SirZoro kind of says, while he's got some strong points, there's room for improvement, especially considering the limitations of his trainer ability. So his trainer ability, he says, might seem great at first, but it's actually not that effective because it requires an MP trainer in the first slot, which can be limiting. So I think SirZoro actually prefers the +2 MP and combined sub damage trainers. Um, However, he does have a solid moveset with some powerful moves that work well with gem damage boosts. So SirZoro says for best build, I recommend going with red, black moves. Focus on boosting your gem damage. To make the most of his moves, the Sigil Plate's a good choice. It destroys the entire board, creating more random gems with that ultimate plate. Um, any superstar that can boost gem damage usually stays strong in the game for a long time, so Muhammad Ali can be a viable choice for players who enjoy that playstyle.
All right, cool. And I will. I know we were going to be trading off back and forth. I'll do two of them because Mherex's is a little short, so I'll do Mherex's and two Bob's here.
No problem.
So
Short and sweet. Yep.
yeah. So Mherex said he's a 7 without the gear and a 9.5 with the gear. So for those who don't know, the gear, if you were able to get it, allows him to start all color moves with 5 more MP, which of course is a huge boost. And just as a side note from me, I'm hoping that in the future they do offer that again. So hopefully, like I said, hopefully that'll happen. But yeah, so Merrick said 7 without the gear, 9.5 with the gear makes him insanely versatile. No MP trainer needed. Fave build is the black, and red with the tiara plate. And he also wanted to add that he loves crossovers.
Yeah, can I cut in for a sec,
Oh yeah,
Sheik?
sure.
I forgot to mention, we did ask people what they think about special characters like boxers in the game, because I know some people are kind of divided on this one. I've heard some people love it, some people hate it. I forgot to mention in regards to SirZoro, he felt that he rated the character a 7, by the way. He felt he doesn't really love the story of boxers being in the game. He feels there's many superstars who should be in the game from actual WWE. So that's kind of where he landed on that.
All right, which is respectable. You know, like I said, everybody's going to have their opinion. I know a couple of the people who I talked to on Reddit and on Discord were like, "What does Muhammad Ali have to do with wrestling?"
Yeah,
And of course,
yeah.
being a wrestling fan for about 35 years now, I was like, well, he was a part of WrestleMania 1. And then also, there's his wrestling match against Antonio Inoki. And I don't know why I'm just blanking on the other one right now. I know he had a match against somebody else. I just can't think of it at the moment.
I remember Inoki now. He's the guy who went on a shoot match against that big giant dude, isn't he?
The Great Antonio, yeah, yeah. Bill Burr did a phenomenal commentary on that. So if you haven't seen it
Mm-hmm.
before or heard it, go on YouTube and look up Bill Burr, Antonio Inoki, and the Great Antonio if you want a really good laugh out of it.
Absolutely hilarious stuff.
Yeah, and then like I said, to give two Bob's his his review. So he said, I think he's a good character. Strong for Striker and Legends era. However, there are better class slash era combos than Ali for Legend Striker. I also think having the faction event fiasco ended up souring a lot of people looking forward to this character, and rightfully so. The gear
Mm-hmm.
is very game changing for him, but too pricey for most, and I won't go into greater details about that. He also added, I think boxing characters are fine. Personally, I've never been bothered with the type of character being added to the game. I personally think it's silly when it's supposed to be just WWE champions and not social media champions, but that doesn't make or break whether I use them or not. If they're good, they get used on this roster.
Well said, too, Bob. Well said. Another blast from the past. RetroICGaming also used to do this. Retro gave it a good score. We'll reveal that in a bit. But Retro says looks good with a couple builds and with gear allows for more damage. Trainers. I'm hoping I do get him more for his trainers. I'm a big sub guy. My Tech Brock for one will enjoy him at 26k. So yeah, pretty powerful trainer ability with 100% more sub damage. Maybe that brings sub back into the meta.
All right, and I know Retros is a little short. Do you want to go ahead and do Godflows as well?
Sure. Godflow will come back. Like I say, well, maybe we'll save some of the ratings till the end. That's probably a little more exciting. I'll
Mm-hmm.
just read their reviews for now. Godflow, very versatile free character who can improve newer rosters. His weakness might be the Rocky release previously has a slight edge, but for anyone who missed that event, this is a huge win. Gear is key to unlocking his sandbox mode of being MP free. Yeah, very true. That gear, man. Variety. Boxers in game is good in doses, while wrestlers are still the priority. And the best benefit of all is the boxing ring aesthetic looks amazing and feels authentic. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we're gonna end the content creators' final say so in here with our good friend DJAnonZt with I love the crossovers. It's a game. It should be fun, and it's fun to play these characters.
Yeah. Well, Sheik, maybe I'll give you my thoughts, and then you can cap us off with yours, and we'll
Mm-hmm.
see if there's any controversy there that we have to fight about. I don't really think there is, but maybe there is. Um, I saw this card and I lost my mind. Like personally, I'm thrilled Ali's in the game, but I really, really need to dial back my fanboy instincts here because like I'm a huge Ali homer. I watched reruns of his fights with my dad. I read books about Ali, but I really needed to like calm down and just give a realistic rating. As much as I wanted to give him a 10 as soon as I saw him, and I do love the sweet science. I'm probably more boxing fan than wrestling and UFC fan myself. But that said, you know what? I feel I was reasonable in what I rated him. I thought the character model looked amazing. Like it looks absolutely just like him. The card looks great, and the in-game model looks great. So they really did him justice that way. It kind of felt like some of his move animations were just repurposed Rocky Creed and Clubber moves, but he did get some alley specific moves too, like the rope a dope looks great. I think the real question is how good is he, knowing how hard his gears hard to come by. I really, really think this card needs its gear. I mean, I agree with Mherex and a bunch of other commenters here. No gear, I'm probably just going to level him enough just to get through tours. With gear, I'd probably send him to the moon, even though I already have Striker Rocky at 6-star silver. I wouldn't even care. I would level Ali that high as well. So I don't think we're going to see the gear again. Or if we do, it won't be for a long time, or it'll be very hard to acquire. So I'm kind of, about the character actually, because without the gear, it doesn't really add a whole ton of value for me. So that's kind of where I land on it.
All right. So to add my 2 cents on this, so I'm gonna start with Ali Boombaye, Ali Boombaye. so, like I said, Muhammad Ali as a boxer and as a cultural icon, I was super excited to see him in the game. Uh, I'm fine with boxers being in the game. Like I said, uh, and like a lot of people have said, Ali had a connection to WrestleMania One. He has a connection to the world of professional wrestling, and also with the Rocky event. Obviously with Rocky Three and Thunder Lips and Clubber Lang and everything, I was fine with the previous Rocky event as well, which I know isn't part of this specific discussion, but I just wanted to add my 2 cents on that. Um, so I actually don't have a lot of extra to add here because of the fact that I agree. As if I had gotten his gear, I probably would have, immediately made him 6 star and had him as one of the cornerstones of my strikers and of my Legends era. But without it, I actually only took him up to 5 star and leveled him up just enough to be able to beat those tours, and I really haven't touched him since then. Now I do see myself eventually taking him up to 6 star to make sure that I can take full advantage of that trainer ability. I know that SirZoro said that the 100% isn't it doesn't add too much. Um, I feel that as this game progresses, you're gonna see situations where the characters of 3 years ago only doing 5,000 damage per turn, and now them doing several 100,000. I could definitely see a character coming out, especially with the 6SS meta, where this training ability is gonna put them at a million or several million a turn, where he's going to be invaluable to be a trainer on anybody's roster.
Mm-hmm. We just don't know where Scope was gonna go. I mean, yeah, it's gem damage right now, so those guys like Creed or the guys like Rocky who blow up the whole board with gems are great right now today. Sub could be back at 6 star gold. We just don't know. So like that trainer could be a high value person to have. I and gear. Let me rewind the clock. Those +5 MP gears are huge. When was the last time you even sniffed out the Kane gear, for example? It was available one time, I think, as a prize wall spend, and we've never seen it one time since. I've been looking for Kane's gear forever. Never came back.
Oh, are you
So
talking?
like
Oh, are you talking about the hardcore gear?
I'm talking about, yeah, Powerhouse Kane, his plus, what is it, +4, +5, or whatever MP gear. I recall seeing it one time in game as a prize wall thing or an event thing, and that was it. That was like your shot to get that gear, and if you didn't get it, you're not getting it.
Oh, he's actually in the gear loot.
Oh, he is? Okay, well there we have it. So maybe there'll be other means to get it, but that's still big time random RNG and tough to acquire even so. So like I just sus given, well, we could actually pop the rating reveal up, and then it'll actually tell a good story around how people feel he is without gear versus like with gear.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just to add, like I know I brought up about Kane's gear, but uh, take a look at what is it, Goat Becky. Uh, her the +5 MP gear. How many? It's been offered twice that I can think of. I mean, maybe
Mm-hmm.
3 times, and I'm not remembering something, but yeah, I definitely agree with you on gears like that only being offered, once in a blue moon.
It's one of those things. Usually, gear's a prize wall thing, and it's like that. I usually kind of really lean to snapping it up if I have any inkling I'm going to use that character, or even if I don't have that character. I could have had Beck's gear and I passed on it for some reason. Then I ended up pulling Beck's and I have no gear, so she doesn't get used. So it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I feel like if you see that gear and it's MP gear, you almost got to get it.
Yeah, and also one of the things that I always put on is, you think you don't need it, but then when you have to have that tour or that showdown or whatever it is that you need them, and you do have it, it just makes things so much easier on you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see the rate. I think the ratings are up on your screen now, so we
Hmm.
kind of can quickly go through. I don't really think this character is too controversial. Other than I'm not going to get too into it. Sheik, do feel free to comment if you wish. One user did mention that the event rolled out in such a way and it kind of didn't go over so well with the community as a whole. I think I'm going to try and keep my thoughts on the character separate from how they rolled it out. But that said, there wasn't too much rating controversy here. I don't feel you were actually the lowest rater for once, Sheik.
Yeah.
You're more you used to be a little more generous in your ratings, but I'm not judging. But you see the average rating right there, 7.1. I feel like that feels about right for him with no gear. What do you think?
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, and like I said, it just not going back, but uh, about the contest, like we're specifically looking at the character itself, not the contest that they came out in. So yeah, I agree with you about focusing on this versus that. But yeah, when I was looking through the ratings and they were coming in, uh, basically everybody. I mean, I don't want to change from like a number grade to like a letter grade, but a solid C plus is what I thought that he was, and pretty much everybody else kind of rolled into that.
Mm-hmm. But you do see how much that gear elevates him is basically bumps him up like 2 tiers almost. 1.5 tiers, right? He goes
Yeah.
from like 7.1 all the way up to a very respectable and solid 8.5. Um, Granted, the gear with gear rating was a smaller sample size, but I'd have a hard time believing everyone on this list here wouldn't probably give him higher numbers if if they did a gear rating for him. So might even push him up to like a solid 9.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on Ali. I mean, just to recap, maybe the special characters in game as a general conversation. Personally, I love it as long as it's not overdone. I mean, we do have kind of like Zombie Month is kind of the tradition in October, and we've had the mutants and we've had the Motu, and now we're moving into boxers. I'm all for it. I'm with Two Bob here. If it's good, heck, you know what? Even if it's one of the weenies, man, if they're good, they're getting used on my roster. So that's kind of the way I look at it. And personally, being a boxing fan, I actually really like those being in the game. The other stuff, the other special types, I like some of the character models. I've never really looked at any of those special character events and gone, "Oh, that's terrible." I'm strictly a WWE purist, and the game must only be WWE stuff. Because we see crossovers all the time in all kinds of games. So I think it's kind of cool they're doing that to like maybe potentially pull in some casuals. Let's not forget that part.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. And like I said, if they're good, they're good. That's what matters to me most. I being a wrestling themed game, again, like I would prefer that they have at least some connection, even if it's super vague, to the world of professional wrestling.
Hmm.
But yeah, I'm never gonna look at a character and say, oh man, like they've never been in a wrestling ring or they never been on a show. I'm not gonna use them. That's never gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I think most of them, at the very least, well, maybe not the Rocky ones, obviously, because they've never, they're not they're a fictional character.
Okay.
But I think it's fine. Like if they start doing special characters on a monthly basis, it might kind of lose its luster a little bit. But so far, it feels like a good balance.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. Again, I know we don't want to get in. Again, I don't want to seem hypocritical by saying like, oh, I don't want to talk about a contest or anything. But yeah, like one of the other things that I will say that I'm pretty happy about is uh, they've been giving out some pretty decent characters for free. I mean, yeah, you'll have to grind a little bit, but Striker Rocky, fantastic. Clubber Lang, fantastic. And I'm good with them doing. Even if they want to do a like here's your free character and then here's the spend portion for it. Like I said, I think Ollie's a very solid entry, and yeah, I'd be like I said, I especially for the free to play player, I think it'd be great if we had these on a maybe not on a monthly basis, but on a semi regular basis, where you're getting a super solid character for free.
That's a great point. You know what? And he was kind of like unexpected, right? I mean, yeah, the free to play get their free to play MLC character every month, but they just kind of like dropped the Rocky characters and they dropped Ali in sort of out of the blue. No, I don't think anyone knew it was coming. It was a complete shock to me when I saw both of those. I was like, what? So, yeah, I agree with you. I think it doesn't have to be all the time, but dropping in those unexpected, but also good free characters that people can use if they want to, then, you know, it just kind of helps everybody. And if you want to whale out for like, you know, some gear or bigger prize wall or whatever, that kind of keeps a happy balance for everyone.
Oh yeah, exactly. And of course, I wish I had a little better RNG so I could have gotten Apollo Creed like you did.
Yeah, yeah, him and Rocky are gonna be some cornerstones in my roster. They're both quite amazing, and that for me is like why, you know, Ali just, I can't see him cracking my lineup right now unless I happen to come across his gear.
Yeah, and like you said, you never know what the future holds. Maybe there's going to be a trainer or a coach that comes out that makes him go from a 7.1 to a solid 10.
Exactly. Exactly. So here's hoping. I mean, unlock all those trainers, get them all up to at least 26k. That's probably what I will do. I think 26k is what max. It's a 6 star, so you got to push him to 6 star to max his trainer ability. Anyways, I'm not in a huge rush for that, but he's useful enough just even as a trainer that I will do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, if nothing else, he'll be like I said, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but he'll be 26k at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think just to wrap it up, I mean, not a real controversial first WWE Champions Collective Superstar ranking, but there have been a few in the past where people were more divided. Um, I just want to suggest everyone who participates does do content, so go check them out. When we post this, we'll put links to their channels, etc. Obviously, go watch the content creators and follow the unofficial content creators who contributed to this as well. So thanks everyone who put in your comments and your rating. I appreciate it. It makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as always, to anybody who watches this video, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow GreatJmanGaming, myself, Iron Sheik 84, and everybody else on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, respectively. And also, we'd love to hear from y'all as well. So definitely give us your thoughts in the comment section and let us know what you thought about Muhammad Ali being introduced in the game.
Yeah, I'd love to hear what people think. Sheik, do you want to do your radio voice outro for this?
All
It's
right.
always a good way to cap off your stuff.
All righty. It's all good. Yeah. So, as always, if you want more WWE Champions action, make sure to keep an eye on the series, and we will see you hopefully next week for whoever the new character is going to be.
Awesome. Cheers, everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone.